Life after the gunshot. We back in it to win it. What's good, my brother?
Hey, man, it's been a couple of months since we didn't talk to our audience, man. Miss them. Miss doing this. You know what I mean? This is my therapy right here. You know what I mean? If I had a hard day, be able to, get that chip off my shoulder, articulate how I'm feeling. So
Yo,
I miss it.
I just want to say salute to everybody that's been watching Life After the Gunshot, man. We over what? We almost getting near to 12,000 views. So salute to all the supporters. Yo, spread that out. Remember, hit those platforms, Crackle, Netflix, Amazon Prime, Apple. Make it happen. Get them people on our radar. And thanks to everybody that's been supporting the IG. We appreciate y'all. And let's get to it. What we got to talk about before we even jump into the guests, because it's going to be another major show. Got any news that we want to share or spread?
I wanna first put out this good positive energy to down Miami. You know what I mean? They going through some shit. You know what I'm saying? They've been going through some shit. You know what I mean? The gun rate, the shots being fired off is at an all-time high. You know what I mean? So I just want to keep all them good people down there in Miami, in my prayers and, travel, be as safe as possible. You know what I mean? We were dealing with the pandemic. You know what I mean? You guys been dealing with gun violence, but it seems like it's a little more prestige now. Like we're seeing more of it, you know what I mean, up here. You know what I mean? So I just want to, make sure we tied and locked in with the people down in Miami. And, prayers up, man. Prayers up.
And right now, we had 81 homicides in DC. Last year at the same time, we was at 68. And I think it's going on in every city across the country. I just happen to be looking at the non-fatal and fatal shooting data for PG. Same thing, Philly, New York, everywhere, Baltimore. So, we urging y'all to put them guns down by any means necessary. And, let's bring them rules back. So shout out to everybody that's out there in the street doing that violence prevention work that, is honorable. And we say much respect to all of those in DC and across the country. Shout out to No Slide Zone and shout out to Trigger Project. And shout out to my man who was on the news this week, man. Look like he doing his thing, getting out there in the street. So shout out to my man Slim, who y'all seen in Life After the Gunshot. Y'all seeing him now out there in the streets doing that violence prevention and intervention work. So we want to shout out that king too.
And shout out to Big E. Me and him had a real conversation a couple of days ago, man. So I appreciate you, OG, dropping the knowledge and how the game works, man. So appreciate you taking out the time to holler at me. You know what I'm saying? I'm starting to get a little big on giving them flowers while they're here. You know what I mean? So, that's what it is, man. Appreciate the love, man.
You want to talk a little bit about, that thing you sent me that we was telling each other on Instagram with the brother that ended up killing himself down in Atlanta?
Oh, yeah. I can't remember, the name of the guy or the gang, but I will say this. You know what I mean? That was a real coward way to go up out of there. You know what I mean? You impacted all these young brothers in a negative way and had all them doing whatever they was doing. You know what I mean? And you decided to take your life. You know what I'm saying? That's the chump shit, man. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to do it, you know what I mean? If you're going to be that person, stand 10 toes down. Don't take the easy way out. You know what I mean? I'm real big on self-accountability. And whatever decisions I make, right or wrong, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to stand there as a man and take the reward or the punishment. You understand what I'm saying? All that, you know what I'm saying, blowing my brains out. I just feel like that was some coward shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and for those who don't know the story we talking about, it was a gang. I'm not going to get too deep into it. You can read it up on the internet, but it was a gang in Baltimore allegedly, was involved in some homicides, and a lot of young dudes was in it. And the guy who apparently was the leader, he went on the run and went down Atlanta and got in a little, the feds came for him with a warrant, and he ended up killing himself. And so all of them young brothers, and that's to all of these young dudes in the street, man, that's getting lulled into that game, You know, the dude that might be lulling you into that game, he might not even be that sturdy at the end. And now you're going to see yourself doing 100 years, right? So, you know, make better decisions out there. So, yo, before we jump into it, brother, got to say, you know, this show is sponsored by Eat. You know, Elevate all the time, man. Shout out to Malik and Mel. You know, got the Eat gear on. Go get that Urban Fashion in DC. One of the top clothing companies. Shout out to them for sponsoring the show. And yo, we can't move on without showing them that, you know, that fly go beat. If you don't eat, you die in the street. Shout out to Eat. So yo, want to get a backstory on my brother about to come on?
Hey, honestly, a real brother, man. You know, I was watching. I came across, you know, the website of his organization, and I was just reading, man, reading. I said, you know what? I'm gonna shoot him a DM. You know what I mean? He responded, and now we here today. It was just that simple. It was just that simple, man. Real respect, real. You know what I mean? So I'm glad to have this brother on. We appreciate, you know, him taking the time out. Let's get it.
Founder, CEO of Don't Shoot Guns, Shoot Cameras, Rodney Red Friend. It's good, my brother. Welcome to Life After the Gunshot. Oh, you little froze.
Yeah, he froze. Hey, we was just talking about that too.
Yeah, we was just talking about it. Wi-Fi came.
Hey, it be like that, man.
Get that boy unfrozen back on that 5G, man. We know y'all. We know y'all in the sticks. We gotta get that boy unfrozen. You good? You still froze up. Oh, he gotta go in the crib. This is what happened when you deal with them big boys that live out on them 100-acre lots. You know what I mean? The Wi-Fi don't be too good when they living good like that. You got his background. He on an estate.
See, we still can't hear you.
Muted, Red. You on mute.
You might got to bring him in, bring him out, bring him back in, G.
Bring him out. We might have to bring him back in, G. Yo, that's the beauty of doing live podcasts when you're doing it with the big dogs that's sitting out there on that lot. That's guy I gotta be living, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
that's the honestly, way. That's to everybody that's in this. That's how you gotta be living. You gotta be on some land like that, man. Get yourself some dirt.
Yeah, man.
You heard me? So yeah, bro.
You want to know what's crazy, man? You know, I was sitting down. I asked this question yesterday on Instagram. The question was, does the rules change from generation to generation?
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Most definitely. I think we talk about a lot of that when the work we do, right? Like, what are the rules right now? Like, if we was to sit down with some young cats and we had an intergenerational conversation, what would we be talking about in terms of the rules? Like, what are the rules? You know, what rules is people abiding by right now, right?
Yeah. And the thing is, I can't remember who I was talking to, but they was like, you know, what might be a rule then might not be a rule now. You know what I mean? And I think, you know, that was a very important statement. You know what I mean? How the rules might change from generation to generation, man. And I think us as being the young OGs, the OGs, you know, we got to communicate with these youngins so everybody can get on the same page. You know what I mean? I feel like that's where, you know, the disconnect is. You know what I mean? The youngins got a whole different rule set than, you know, we might have. But one thing I do understand, you know, with some rules, you know what I mean, that's
as universally respected, that transcend time, that's timeless, right?
Exactly.
You know, timeless rules to the game. You know what I'm saying? Like women and children, like that's just like a no-go. But You know, we in a different era right now where anybody could get hit out there. You know,
Yeah.
we gotta get some of these rules back. And like when you see some older people out there, you know, you supposed to temper down what you're doing. What's good, baby?
Yeah, I'm back. I'm sorry. I hope y'all can see me and hear me right.
Nah, yeah,
Yeah, sorry
Yeah, we
about
yeah,
that.
got you now.
we got you.
All right, cool.
Rodney Red Friend,
Yeah,
CEO, founder. Don't shoot guns, shoot cameras. Appreciate you being on, man.
I appreciate y'all having me. I'm sorry about the. I'm down on my family's ranch right now. You know, I'm in DC. I live in DC, but I come down here to get my spirit right.
Yeah,
We got to keep our spirit right because it ain't nothing for us to go on the other side. So I'm blessed to be and honored to be in here tonight. You know what I'm saying? Share the stories with y'all brothers. And I'm just glad y'all doing the work too, because the youngins need to hear this in real life. They don't get a chance to see men like us really talk to them. A lot of the men are away. So they need the men back in their life. They need fathers, and we gotta step up and be the fathers now. So,
yeah.
it,
While we were just talking about which we talk about a lot on the show, man, is like the rules from different generations and have the rules change, right? The rules might have been different in my generation, you coming up, Che coming up, but then there's some universal timeless rules too. Like if you could say what you see some of the rules that have changed, what would you say they are?
I mean, y'all said it best. I mean, people just blasting on the block with kids, women, children. You know, that's like the foulest thing to me. I mean, it's like it's disrespectful already to just be shooting our blocks up already. But if y'all got beefs, go out in the country or something, man. Draw them up like go back to. I want to go to the Western days. Go out to the country if y'all really got that much beef. But then you shooting up the block, like that joint is that joint old. It's getting old. Like it's getting real old.
Real
You know,
old.
and yeah, we really we we lost the code. Somebody lost over the years. I don't know where the code book went. I don't know if the handbook got taken away, but we gotta teach the kids the code again. It is cool to be smart. It is cool to learn something. It is cool to be make your own clothing or go try to use your talent in other ways. You don't have to be angry all day long. Like man, everybody want man. Nah, Slim. Like, come on, come on.
And that,
And and everybody who talking about it ain't got the real heart that they talking about.
yeah,
So if you living behind the gun, where's your heart? We would chuck them up. Y'all remember we used to chuck them up
yeah,
in
yeah,
real like and
yeah,
friends afterwards.
yeah.
Still live in the same neighborhood. We got in the beat, man. We still friends, whatever. Uh,
That's it,
that's
right?
that's why I started the Don't Shoot Guns, Shoot Cameras. I just thought it was like, cameras saved my life from the streets. You know, just getting into film so early in my life at 19 years old, being on Def Jam, and just being around like cameras and stuff like that, it just saved my life. And I just thought that would be the best thing to bring back to the city of DC, to show youngins who want to get involved with different things how to push their vision. Because if they can push their vision, and I teach them how to write, also like write their scripts, and if you can take all the stuff out your head and envision it and get it on paper and shoot it, then you ahead of the game. Everybody got a camera, everybody got a phone. So,
And everybody got a story.
everybody got a story. And that's how we create the stories. You know what I mean? We let the kids create the stories. Only thing we do is like give them a one idea and they just take it and run. And
Right.
July the 22nd through the 29th, 3 days we'll be in DC, and we're doing Inglewood also. So last year was just DC, but this year we're doing DC and Inglewood. We expanded it. So and the topic this year is gentrify. So we're
Wow.
gonna
All
get,
right.
you talk about gentrification and what they see.
Right.
and it
Right.
should be pretty heavy. It should be pretty heavy.
Yeah, man. Nah, we salute you for the idea, man, because that's something that, I know it started here, but I'm sure people can replicate that all across the country, man. That's like a beautiful idea. When we first saw it, we got to get you on the show to talk about it because that's amazing concept, man. Like, I really like that. What would you say, when you first started the idea, what were kind of the challenges for you to get it going?
I really don't. I think the biggest challenge with COVID hit, we was gonna get it into all the schools in DCPS, and I hooked up with the Hustlers Guild, my homegirl, Yasmin Selena, who was one of my young mentees, and I was a mentor of hers a long time ago, and it's cool to see her go through her process working for Obama, just solidifying herself as a young leader, So once we got with them, it was easy work because my passion, their work ethic, my work ethic, and their passion came together, and it was just amazing. And last year we did the first cohort, and all of those students coming back now to teach the new students that's in the program. So, and they getting paid this summer, so we're able to get them paid, so they have some money in their pocket, and they just won't be just learned it. Kids
Yeah.
won't.
Yeah.
So all the programs been taken away. Remember, Marion Berry had programs for us, so he
Right.
had program, and we was able to go back to school fresh for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I don't care if it was for 2 weeks. We
Yeah.
It was fresh.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
youth employment money.
we
Yeah.
up the shirt with the jeans.
And then you match it up after the 2 weeks. Hey, so look, man. Is there one? I'm sure it's more than one moment, but is there one moment when working with the kids, you was just like, wow, like
Yeah. Like, so we just did RFK Stadium. Me, Joe Claire, Donnell Rollins, and Dominique. We came back and had a reunion, and I let the kids shoot the special, and they shot the whole special. And
Wow.
like how you say,
Hey.
wow,
Yeah.
sold out, 1,200 cars, and they was able to grasp the situation and step up to the plate. And these kids are from 13 to 17 years old. You got to understand, these not like older kids. These are young kids.
Yeah.
Some just graduated from 9th grade.
Right.
And for them to be able to hold those cameras in their hand and take direction properly, it was amazing. I brought Lynn Harris Taylor in, who has executive produced over probably 40 shows at Viacom. And she was a big help in this situation. But that was some of my wild moments. And when one of the kids was like, Mr. Grant, man, this writing stuff, man, this no cap, this writing stuff fun, man. Like, so that's some of the wild moments. So I'd be like, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So what's some of like the major projects some of the kids are producing now that you want people to know about, or like is on the horizon? Like, what do you see coming on the horizon?
Well, what I'm mostly proud of, I think we're mostly proud of the retention in the program, and the attention, and them able to be there every day. Perfect attendance. Also one of our students going off to Georgia State University this year. It's like I told the Snoop Dogg, I said I just want my kids to go to pros like your kids go to the pros.
Yeah.
But and now people are hiring our kids to be on creative staffs, and that's fun. Like, they like, dang, I just got hired to be on a creative staff, a creative board, So, those things like that. And you're gonna see a lot from these kids, man. You probably won't even know. But we're gonna send y'all over what we did last year, so y'all can be wild about some of their short films and some of the things that they're doing.
Nah, I mean, we talked about when we first found out. I had said to Che when we found out about your program, I was like, man, we need to get some of these kids to rock with us, right?
Yeah.
After the Gunshot, because we always looking for talented young talent, to come on board and work with us. So yeah, I mean, it's amazing that you have a group of kids. I want a technical question though, because I know I've shot. Like, what are they shooting on? Are they using their phones?
4Ks, like 4K.
Wow.
But all the kids after they finish the program get their own camera. So we get them 4Ks, top of the line, uh, Canons, and they rock with it. So they in 4K, different lenses, wide uh, wide angle lenses where they can really capture the moment, and their angles are crazy. Like I try to teach them angles, but they take it what I'm teaching and really
And run with it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Spike Lee's coming out of our camp, our program. So that's what I'm most proud of. Like they really taking it and run. I produced over 21 shows for Viacom, and I wasn't even thinking that I would ever produce television shows, that many shows. And
Yeah.
it's really amazing to like how God move you into certain spaces, and you get a chance to give back to what you learn.
And the crazy thing about that is that, and I can identify with you, man. I was hit 13 times. You know what I'm saying? And that was in 2013, right? And we put out Life After the Gunshot, episode 1, 7 years later, bro. And I never thought in a million years that I'd be executive producing a documentary, you know what I mean, about trauma, about violence, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was so impactful just being able to release and just go on YouTube and type it in and see all the hard work and dedication, coming to fruition. You know what I mean? And I think, for them kids, man, that means something for them kids. You know what I mean?
Dude.
Growing up, when we grew up, it wasn't really, well, for me, it wasn't really too many opportunities unless I was playing ball or I was in the street. You know what I'm saying? No one ever came to my neighborhood and talk about production. You know what I mean? Talk about cameras. I probably would have loved to do it, but it was so foreign to me, man. And that's why I said, I think, therapy can be in so many different ways. Therapy could be them children, them young kids, them young adults, picking up that camera, boom, boom, boom. You know what I mean? All writing a script. You understand what I'm saying? But they got to be able to know that they can do it.
Yeah. That's why we teach them how to write. We don't be on, we never on like some teacher, like really we teaching. Like, like they going to class. We more like, we teach them in a way where they can learn it. Like, because I went to school, the worst thing is when a teacher try to like, oh, you got let them be creative. Let them get it all out their brain. What do you see? And once you ask that question, I can ask anybody on this chat, right? What do you see? You can tell me, oh man, I see the block, or I see, mothers, with babies, or I see, so I let them in their environment instead of trying to force things out of them. Let them write, let them be creative. And once they do that, they be like, oh shit, we did all of this and it's on paper, So it needs to be done more. We want to put this around the whole city. Like every nonprofit organization that wants to be involved should be able to have,
Yeah, man.
Every neighborhood should have a shot at Don't Shoot Guns, Shoot Cameras.
Yep.
And if we start building like that in our communities and helping each other, and I promote your thing, I promote Eat Life After your show, we promote each other, then how can we lose?
We can't.
Yeah. And you want to know? And you want to know something, man? I want to share this story, man. Shout out to Marjay Powers. So Marjay was one of our young men that was in our program. So we had a program at PG Hospital, a hospital-based violence intervention program. And he came through, the program. And this kid was talented, man. He was talented. He was a thinker. You know what I mean? He was a hustler. You know what I mean? And the kid, so out of 116 guys, this one kid took a test to go to Montgomery Community College out of 116 guys. And I want to say Marjay was like 20. And passed the test. Now we're trying to figure out how we're going to pay for him, how we find a way to pay for him so he can go to school, right? A couple months later, he get killed. Like, that was one of the most devastating feelings, that I've ever experienced, because he was on the horizon. You know what I mean? He was on that step to being something in life. You understand what I'm saying? And there's so many young men out here that happened to, man. So as an elder, as a young OG, I understand that we can't protect them from it, but I do understand that we gotta find a way to get them out the neighborhood. You know what I mean? Because we do all this great stuff for them.
Like in real life, like why we don't have, like, I don't know when y'all came up in the city, but we had Camp Brown, we had different things like that they took us away from the city. And once you got away from the city, you know, you was able to like actually learn something. Once you got out of that environment, you know, you had a campfire. You ain't never had no campfire in the South Side. But you take these kids away from that situation and give them something else, man, you will see them change.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
only being influenced.
Yeah.
It's just being influenced. They being influenced. And it's not good influence.
Nah, I mean, I mean, it's the same thing we would do with Lamarje and all the brothers would bring them up to my campus, right? And that was just the way of getting young brothers off the block, just to be somewhere where they never been before, to see what it was like to be on a college campus. And what would happen 9 times out of 10 when they would come up, before they would get ready to leave, they would ask this question, same question every time. Yo, how can I get into college? Because once they get up there and see that situation, they start seeing all of them beautiful young women and seeing how cool it is. They like, listen, how can I get up in here?
I don't want to leave.
Hey, Slim. Hey, once you turn people into a different, that's me. When I was 17, you couldn't tell me nothing that I wasn't the hardest dude in the world. But I got a football scholarship. I got away from the block. And once I got away from the block, things changed for me. And I always tell people, you get away from the block, things will change. You know, you just got to get away from the block.
Nah, man, it's true, bro.
So let me ask this: once you're done working with them kids for the evening or for the day, right? Yes. How do you feel about them going back into the neighborhoods? You know what I mean? Like, is it a sense of worry? Like, how do you feel when they leave your protection?
It's a super sense of worry, but I try to teach them that they don't have to go and hang out around the same individuals when they know that they're not doing well. They're not doing good for them.
Yeah.
So I try to teach them values when I got them. You feel me? And we're really close to their parents too. It's not just that.
Right.
So we're close to their parents. So we're getting a chance to actually, you know, communicate with their parents, their cousins, their big brothers. You know, like when I pull up on the block, people like, I can't believe you on the block, Red. I'm like, I don't want to feel like I'm no different than anybody else. I want them to understand I come from the same environments that you come from. I just took a chance and ran with it. And I still was messing up even when I ran with it. I still had to be guided. So all your life, you're going to be guided in different ways. You're not going to ever be in that situation where you too comfortable. You never get too comfortable, but always be mindful of your situation. So, you know, I try to keep mindful. And that's now, like, you know, I've grown a lot. I see myself, I look back at myself back then, and what people don't tell these youngins, you're going to continue to grow. You're going to continue to, you know, make different moves. You know, never, you know, you're going to be discouraged sometimes, but, you know, I tell them to lean on God. I always bring God into it. Like, you know, people like, well, you say God a lot, Red. Hey, you know, he saved me. So, you know, he put me in a position to be here talking to y'all.
So Red, you around kids a lot, right? And a lot of you're in a fortunate position because you get to hear what kids are talking about. For people that's really not around kids, like on an everyday, daily basis, what are the kids telling you, like the things that they going through, like some of the challenges that they dealing with? Because a lot of people don't even understand what kids are going through right now.
And that's good that you asked me that question. Like they tell me stuff they wouldn't tell their parents, you know, and they entrust in me to, you know, be what's the word? Keep their secrets.
Like
You
a
know?
confidant, right?
Yeah, like a confidant. And you know, some tell me, you know, they got their father's in jail, or you know, he coming home, or they might tell me that, you know, they still might be leaning toward, or they, you know, gun violence sometimes, and you know, and thank you for, you know, just talking to me. And you know, they tell me, like, I take my kids to golf courses, I take them places that they never been, you
That's
know,
right.
and they be like, Mr. Grant, no cap, man, it's golfing fun. And I always use that like as an example because, you know, we have to go and get them off the block. You know, you can't, you try your best to save everybody, but if you can at least try to show them something like other than what they see every day. You know, people be like, they hard on these kids, like the kids shouldn't be doing the shit, kids. Nah, what you shouldn't be doing is criticizing if you're not going back and helping.
And helping them.
Just period. If you're not helping, then you can't criticize.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I
And
probably.
that's what we see a lot of them. I think in our communities, you know what I'm saying, we like to point the finger. You know what I mean? It's not a lot of self accountability. You know what I mean? And me and Dr. Richardson was having this conversation the other day. You know what I mean? Back in the 80s, you, so I was created in the 80s. I was born in 88. So that means I was created in 87 during that time.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a reflection of what was going on in 88, right? Children are reflections of their parents.
Yeah.
When it comes down to it. You understand what I'm saying? As much as we might want to, you know, show them a different direction, we got to understand that number one, that they're going to leave our environment and go back home. And if the parent not saying the same shit as far as motivating, getting your face right, getting your spirit right, it's going to make it 10 times harder for the child. You know what I mean? And I think, you know, it really started at home. You know what I mean? So it's like, damn, like you said, you got a relationship with the parents. How can we get the parents involved? How can we get the parents in therapy? How can we, you know what I mean? How can we help get the parents a job? And I go ahead.
No, that's, I mean, everything you're saying is right. And that's why it's like important for us in our program. We push and shout out to all the people who work in Don't Shoot Guns, Shoot Cameras, Jasmine, Nicole, Andrea, Terrence, and like all these individuals who come in and give their time to these youth. They just do an amazing job of just communicating. Like, you know, I think, you know, we talked about earlier what was lost in our communities is communication. You know, we lost a sense of communication. So it's respect and communication. How do we communicate and respect each other again? You know, that's important.
Yeah. Yeah. Communication means everything, just like relationships. You know what I mean? That's social capital. You know what I mean? How important is relationship?
Yeah.
You
So
know?
what are the parents saying? What are the parents
Everything.
saying to you? What are the parents saying to you, Red, like about the impact of
And
being
relationships is,
kids? What are they saying, the parents, about the impact of their kids being in the program?
man, the parents be happy, man. We make, you know, we creating a documentary about it too. So just to see their faces is a whole nother program, you know. And I don't know if I'm paused again. I hope I'm not.
Nah, you
But
good.
No, we
if
can
I
see
am,
you.
y'all let me know. Okay, cool. You know, the parents, they smile because they see their kids. You gotta understand, all these kids is in high risk areas. Like, you know, that we ain't getting kids out out of the burbs.
Right.
You know what I mean? We ain't going up Wisconsin Avenue. We deal mostly with Ward 7 and 8 youth. So, and or uptown, where these kids are really in high risk areas. So the parents, they really thankful for us, and we're thankful for them. So it's a good relationship right now.
How's the recruitment process work? Like the fact that you are in a lot of the hoods in DC, like how do you get kids? Is it street outreach? Like how do you get kids engaged in the program?
Well, it's definitely, it's we base it on kids' interests, So we put out fillers to see if kids are interested in, learning about filmmaking. And of course, like with our program, the good thing about it is we have celebrities come on set too. So that kind of motivates the kids also, you get a chance to meet celebrities, it changes the whole feel of the situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they interest a little bit more spark. If you're a rapper and you get a chance to see, one of your favorite rappers, then it's cool. Like I was with one of my students one day, and I called Cat Williams, and Cat sponsoring the camp this summer, along with Matt Barnes, along with Baron Davis.
That's what's up.
And so and a couple other people is sponsoring the camps this summer. And when the kids saw Cat, he was like, "Oh, shucks, Cat Williams." I was like, "Yeah." And Cat really kept it real with him, kept it 100 with him, and like he always does. And he said, "How you doing, sir?" He was like, "I'm good, Mr. Williams." He was like, "I just want to tell you, I'm proud of you. And if I could tell you one thing, stay out of jail." And he ain't sugarcoated enough. He just told him straight up, stay out of jail. Do things that ain't gonna get you in jail. And because they locking our youngers up, they ain't giving them no regular time no more. You'll be in there from you 15 to the time you 40.
Yup. Yup. They're giving out straight, like not even football numbers. They're giving out basketball numbers right now to kids.
Yeah, and they don't care. They don't care if you 14, 13, 15, 16, or 17. It ain't no youth jail program like that. You go to big boy, or they'll lock you up in youth, and when you get a certain age, you go to big boy. So, we gotta care, man. As a community, we gotta care. We gotta care.
Yeah.
I mean, we can all be doing other things in life, but it got to be purpose over popularity right now.
Right.
And once we get involved with that purpose over popularity, things gonna start working in our favor. Everybody,
So So let me ask you this, Red, Mike. We talked a little bit about energy and how to protect your energy.
Yeah.
What point of your life where you figured out that this energy shit is real? like when did you really take notice to it? If you don't mind me asking.
Yeah, I don't mind. I think it was I would say my mid-20s, or maybe my 30s, when I understood about my energy. And sometimes it might be as recent as 2 years ago, because it's always an elevation of your energy. And sometimes you might fall back, and you got to realize, man, I ain't around the right energy right now. I find myself doing things that are not who I am. I feel like I'm doing things that other people are motivating me to do. So I'm always reevaluating my energies and what's around me. And that's even what, how I treat my family and how they treat me. I try to treat my wife as with the proper energy and respect that I can. And I look for the same energy back. So we stay on the same page. Well, my kids the same way. if I find myself talking a little bit too brash, you know, sometimes you got to pull back. You know, everybody can't be yelled at and hollered at. You know, some people respond better when you don't. So, you know, you gotta learn what your energy do to other people. So
Yeah.
to answer your question, you know, it's been a ever ever growing situation for me in my life of changing and understanding energy. And I'll probably be all the way to I'm almost not here no more,
Yeah.
figuring out
Yeah.
energy.
Yeah, nah, it's an everyday learning process, right? And it's learning more about yourself, right? You become a student onto yourself because
Yeah,
you begin to learn about yourself every day. So you become the student and teacher for yourself, right? And that's an ever evolving thing. But you also mentioned like the spirituality, right? How much does that play into negotiating that energy? Because a lot of times people don't understand that like your spiritual side also feeds into how much energy, the energy you draw to yourself.
no, it's everything. Everything is based off my spirituality. Like, uh, um, it changed the way I move. It changed the way I think. Um, you know, prayer is a powerful situation, especially meditation. You know, I don't tell people how to pray or who to pray. I just tell them that if you meditate and just find something that you believe in spiritually, you know, I'm not saying that you know you're gonna be Jesus or nothing like that, but you
Right.
know,
Yeah.
but you know, and you might not even be Mahatma Gandhi, you know,
Yeah.
and you know, but if you can push your energy and your spirit to a certain level, you'll find yourself doing things that's miraculous. And
Mm.
you
Yeah.
know, and I don't know if you believe in miracles, but you getting shot 13 times is a miracle. And being
Yeah.
here talking to me, right?
Yeah.
Me probably being shot at 4 times and it probably stabbed twice. You know, when
Yeah.
I was young, just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah.
And that's why I relate to these kids. Like the guns have taken the place of the fathers, right? So how do you put the fathers back in these kids' life? And the only way to do it is for us who are here to become the fathers again to the neighborhoods. Because
Yeah.
they listen to the OGs when we talk, if we talking correct.
Yeah.
Yup.
And you want to know what's crazy, man? So I was sitting in. I remember sitting in the house. I was taken to PG, and I remember sitting in the hospital bed, and I probably should have been. I was stabbed 13 times, right?
Oh damn,
Uh,
damn. You stabbed
yeah,
13. Okay. Ooh,
yeah. I was. Yeah,
that could be even worse sometimes.
and I remember sitting in the hospital bed, and the first video I was on my phone, and the first video that I seen was a motivational video, and I used this line to this day. It was from Will Smith. Will Smith said, "Greatness is not just esoteric type life form; it's within all of us. We just got to tap into it."
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So when you were just talking, instantly that popped in my head. You know
yeah,
what I mean? And that's what we got to train our children to believe.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Because growing up, these kids feeling all types of shit,
yeah,
loneliness,
yeah,
depression,
yeah,
all types of things, man.
yeah.
So
And when they don't have that reiteration from people like us, you know, it can be, you know, detrimental to them because you don't know what their mental state is. Like, you know, these kids are how, you know, how people go to war, you know, like really, and they say they have
Yeah. Traumatized.
yeah, I don't know what it's
PTSD.
called, DPPS or something.
PTSD.
Yeah, PSD. You know, these kids are in the neighborhood with that right now. Like they
Mm-hmm.
seeing like gunfire right next to them, like, you know, war.
Yeah.
So, you know, how do you get them retrained, you know,
Mm-hmm.
to trust society again, to trust the neighborhoods again, to trust people again?
and that's what we need to really be, concentrating on, psychology and
Nah,
psyches, and and not just be all hard on them. Just like, what do they
Yeah,
need? What do they need?
yeah, our
yeah,
work focuses a lot on trauma and everything that you just mentioned in terms of, you know, how kids process that in their neighborhoods. And the thing you just mentioned is probably the most prevalent symptom we see is like the level of distrust, and that affects everything. When your trust is broken down, it's hard to regain that in any relationships that you have, in whether it's you or your parent or your friend. Like once we have a breakdown in trust in the community, the whole community is going to fall apart.
Yeah, and we got to look at each other and stop being so angry with each other. Like, it ain't our fault, some of the stuff that happens in our lives, but we take it
yeah,
out on each other.
yeah,
Mike Tyson said it best, man. Discipline is doing something you hate as if you love it, right?
mm,
So you don't want to get up every morning. I tell my kids that I coach at Woodland, at the Woodland Tigers, and I told them yesterday, same thing. Discipline is doing something you hate as if you love it. You don't want to get up and go to school every day. You don't want to sometimes learn. You don't want to take the trash out for your mother. You don't want to, but sometimes you just got to do it like you love it, because if you do it enough like you love it, you end up loving it. You end up
yeah,
respecting it, and you know what I mean. If I greet my brother every time like I love him, you'll start being like, man, I love him, like I love him. But if you every time
yeah,
you see somebody you mugging up, you gotta be more. We gotta be more disciplined.
Yeah, we talk about that all the time too. Like everybody is so prepared to be antagonistic that we got to kryptonite them. Like you got to roll up and almost just give love off the break, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
because people don't know how to respond to it. It's like you frozen. Like yo, nah, I got love for you. They like, damn, I ain't never had nobody tell me that, right?
yeah.
And that's almost like kryptoniting people because everybody's so on edge. They don't know how to respond to that love.
So I do every day. I live over the Northeast, but I take 5 mile walks every day when I can, like at least 4 times a week. And I walk through neighborhoods and I just walk, and people like, Red, what up? Or I'll be like, and I stop and just talk to people just to see, like, just to get that energy to them, like, because it's important that we share that energy,
Mm-hmm.
because they so used to people being rude. Like, people rude as hell out here.
yeah,
People is rude. I mean, in other cultures too, like, even in black and white culture, sometimes, especially in our city, it's so much divisiveness because they don't know whether to speak, or we don't know whether to speak, or you know what I
yeah,
mean? It get weird out here. And
yeah,
it just, we need to just have one black community or one white community. We need to have a community that love each other, that respect each other, that understand each other. And once we break that barrier that has been placed in front of us, it's so Willie Lynched out here. The Willie Lynch syndrome has just taken over our community. He said it's going to take, if you teach your slaves this method, it would take 400 years for them to break it. That was in 1712. It's
mm,
been 409 years,
mm,
and we still ain't broke it. So it's 21. We just gotta break it. God gave us the ability to stay our butts at home for a whole year, do nothing but be virtual. And people, as soon as they get outside, they angry again. Like, why is you rushing to get outside to be mad?
Oh. Sometimes I'm in my car, bro, and I'm driving to campus, and it's 8 a.m, and I'm like, "How are you flying at 100 miles an hour, weaving through traffic? Like, woke up with that energy? Who wakes up with this energy like this? Like,
Yeah,
who?"
they do, man.
yeah,
They wake up with it.
yeah. And I think, having the access or having the machine/tool of social media allows them to voice it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They voice it to people they don't even know. You know what I mean? And I think, when it comes down to it, it's your responsibility to heal.
It is.
No matter what. It's your responsibility to heal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Your mama could have whooped your ass, your daddy could have not been there, you could have been molested, anything could have happened to you.
Yeah.
But it's your responsibility to heal, man. I don't think people understand that.
Yeah, you gotta I know that's the tough part, because that's when the mentors come in, like to give them that little spark.
Oh God, yeah.
To start the healing process. We always think we need to serve, we gotta serve, our communities. Like people ask me, Ray, why you back in DC? Or I said, I never left DC. Hollywood, it wasn't my home, or when I lived in New York, it wasn't my home. When I lived in Georgia, it wasn't my home. DC always been my home. Like this is my home. Like when they introduce me on stage, they say from Southeast Washington, DC, or they say from Washington, DC. They don't say from California. They don't, I never took on that tag. But I know a lot of brothers from California, and I know a lot of brothers from different areas that have even played a big role in my life. So I'm kind of glad that I get a chance to see different things, because it is other cultures, it is other things. Like you said, when you take them to the college and they want to go to college now, that's a good feeling, because you go away from the block, you like, man, it ain't nothing but it's a party situation. The only thing I do is really go to class and do a little work.
That's it.
Sign me up.
How can I get up here?
So we say, like I said, make sure y'all follow like don'tshootguns.cameras.com or dsgsc.org, and keep supporting the program, because it's very important that we continue to push our youth. And if you got kids out there, you want to get them involved, just hit the website, and we'll get them involved. And we're going to expand it around the city in different states and different cities. So,
man, it's an amazing program, and like whatever we could do to support it, we 100% in. And I also just wanted to say, just in terms of like the generation and the pipeline that you're creating, filmmakers and people being in that space. And Che and I talk about this all the time. I'm like, I try to tell people like that don't know the history of DC. I'm like, DC was like the media capital before Atlanta. Don't get that twisted, right?
Yeah.
DC had BET. DC had TV One. DC had Radio One. DC was the media capital, and it shifted. So, I appreciate you even on that tip, like bringing it back with creating a new, generation of creatives that could bring that back, because I think people forgot that history, right?
Yeah.
And then the other thing is, even in terms of comedy, like DC always had the funniest comedians.
They do. It's because we always from the time we young, we always got to protect ourselves out here through verbal assaults. I'm talking about from the time you little, the older gentlemen, they always gonna be on your head. So you got about something. You got to be able to get them up off you, and that always was like Jonah. So Jonah is like the base of DC comedy, but it's just being that creative spirit in the moment. Like, you got to fire somebody up from head to toe. You got to look at you ain't got a whole millisecond to do
it. Y'all comedy game has always been tight from the time I seen like Teddy Washington.
Oh yeah, Teddy Washington.
He was funny.
Mike Washington and Teddy Carpenter.
Teddy Carpenter.
Yeah, Teddy Carpenter.
Right.
Yeah, Teddy Carpenter. He was definitely one of the pioneers. He was one of the first on Def Jam.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, yeah. It's Dave. You know, of course, Dave Chappelle, Tommy Davidson, myself, Joe Clare, Donnell Rollins, Dominique, Mike Brooks, Chris. Tom, I don't know if I say Tommy Day. All these Earthquake. I mean, I can go on here, Pierre. I can go on and on about like comics that's from this city that really put their foot in it. And
that might need to be a documentary for y'all, man. Like,
I think so.
Just the comedy, how all of this comedy came out of DC, man. That's like a nice little documentary right there.
Yeah,
and it started from Jonas.
Yeah, I mean, just think, Petey Green and Marshall Warfield, and I mean, it's like some real DC people like this in history that you can't even like imagine. Like,
nah, it's crazy. Y'all are noted comedians.
The last thing, it should be like a what's it called when they put paintings on the wall to build, like
murals?
what's it called? A murals
of
all the DC comics.
It should be.
Yeah.
Yeah, it should be. We need to find a good murals and get that happening right now, because it's a lot of legends out. It's a lot of legends from the city. They call me a legend now, and I'm like, oh man.
Take your flowers.
Yeah, I'll take them, man. I'll take my flowers.
It is.
I ain't even gonna give them away. I'm gonna put them right in the vase and water them every day.
So we usually end with top 5. I want to give you like your top 5 comedians
of all time.
Of all time.
Yeah. And I don't want to say it won't be in this order.
Okay.
All right. So I'm gonna go Cat Williams.
Right.
Dave Chappelle. Of course, Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy, and I'm gonna have to go with Robin Harris.
That's a good list, bro.
And I mean, I can't say myself, so I'm gonna say I'm 6.
Yeah, that's a nice little list there.
Yeah, that's my top 5, and I would have I really had to go top 10 because I had to go Sinbad. He taught me like a lot just on comedy wise, and people like that, like a Sinbad was a monster, and then you got to go Bernie Mac, and you know what I mean. It's not fair how many great comedians that you look up to, and no matter if they down Bill Cosby or not or whatever, his comedy was brilliant. So it's man, I've seen a lot of hard hitters out here in this comedy business, and if you don't got your game right, you'll get burned up.
Darn on
there. I used to go to this last time I say, man. I used to go to the Peppermint.
Oh yeah.
When they used to be bringing the guys from the Peppermint onto Def Comedy Jam.
That's how I got on Def Jam. Like this the funniest story. Look, this the funniest story. So I won't even mention what his name is because he don't do comedy no more. But he was from DC too. And Bob saw me and him. And Bob Sumner was like, I was 19. Bob was like, y'all come up to the Peppermint, man. If you do good, I'll put you on TV. I'll put you on TV.
Right.
So we go to the Peppermint. Bill Bellamy is hosting. Naughty by Nature's in there. Queen Latifah. I don't know. Like everybody in that era was in there, right? My partner, I rode up to Jersey with him too. He went on stage, got booed. Bob comes back and said, your man not gonna make it. So I was scared as hell. Like I ain't even gonna lie to you, but I was so scared that when Bill called my name, I just fired that joint up. I had to do 6 minutes. I fired that joint up, and Bob came back and said, you made it. You're gonna make it. You're gonna be all right. I'm gonna put you on the next season. And we had to ride back home. It was a lonely ride back home when your partner don't make it.
I can imagine that one. You got on there, he did.
He was my ride too. He was my ride.
That's crazy.
He was sick as shit.
I know he was hot. He was.
You gotta look at it in a spiritual way. He was meant to bring me there so my career,
right?
God help me touch a lot of people.
Damn. Yeah. I know he was hurt the whole ride. He was driving back like that.
Do you know how quiet it was in that car?
It had to be. Crickets up in there. He didn't want to say nothing. He probably went through his whole routine the entire time he was.
Hey, that nigga. Look, that nigga went to guy you next. You know what I'm saying? That's what it was. That nigga went to guy you next, man. I don't mean nothing bad, but that's what the fuck he was.
Yeah. Oh my God, man. Yo, I'll tell you one crazy funny story going in there. I remember when my man first took me in there, and I remember the table that was in front of the stage would always be empty. And I remember walking in there and it was real crowded. And I'm like, my man, I'm like, yo, it's empty seats right there. And I'm rushing over there. And I remember grabbing my shirt like, nah, man, we don't want to sit at that table, bro. That's the table you get roasted at. I was like, oh, I ain't know the rules up here. I'm like, yo, it's a free table right here. He like, no.
Hold up, nigga.
He was like, not that table.
Nah, it'd be
it's a reason why that joint
it'd be packed in that joint and nobody wouldn't sit in that table.
Nobody would sit at that table. That table was dead empty. Like, nah, you don't want to sit there.
Oh shit.
I'm rushing over there like, yo, it's a table. He's like, no.
That nigga pulled you by your shirt collar.
Yo, pulled me by my shirt like, no, you don't want to sit over there.
Oh shit. Hey, I needed that laugh today, man. I needed that one.
Straight up. Oh yeah.
He probably called your ass simple.
I'm rushing over. He grabbing my shirt like, ho. Nah, we ain't going to that table.
Simple ass nigga.
You know what I'm saying? Bill Bellamy up there like, I'm like, you a free table. He's like, hell no.
Hey, man, that's the way to end the episode, man, with a good laugh, man. Because that's some funny shit. That's some funny shit, man.
Oh, shit.
Man, go ahead and tell them the websites, Red, but they can find everything at the Instagram so we can get these kids involved.
Yeah.
Like I said, don'tshootgunshootcameras.com, man. Just go to don'tshootgunshootcameras.com. And, you can follow Red Grant on IG. And you can go to redgrant.com and just keep supporting Find the Hustlers Guild.com. So, and follow them on Instagram, the Hustlers Guild. And let's keep supporting each other.
Man, appreciate you, bruh. And we salute you for everything that you've been doing, man. It's an amazing concept. We salute all of your endeavors.
Yeah, man.
And everything that you're doing to give back to the community, man. Honor. We just wanted to give you your flowers, man. So salute you, brother. Remember that joke I said for the rest of the night.
Hey, hey, y'all take that spirit and just shine it on people tonight, man. And tomorrow and through y'all life, man. Keep shining.
Appreciate it,
man. Well, that's it, man. Hey, we appreciate everybody supporting. You
Life
know what I
after
mean?
the gunshot.
It was a dope episode. Hey, I needed that laugh. Man, let's keep doing what we do, man. We miss y'all. We're going to have some more hot episodes coming for you. You know what I mean? Shout out to Ray. Appreciate you coming through.
Life after the gunshot, man. Salute. Stay peaceful. You know what I'm saying? Take a break, cool off. If you mad, man, put that fan on you. Take your temperature down before you make some bad decisions, because in the end, 5 seconds could get you 100 years. Always remember that. Life after the gunshot. We out of here.
We out.